To another episode of Keeping It Orange and Blue. I'm Ryan Evan, joined as always by my good friend Kev. What's up, Kev?
What's going on, Ryan? Pleasure to be here. And it's always a great show when we've got our guest on. I think we always get the highest number of viewers because people want to hear them talk a lot more than us. They can hear us talk anytime, and we're so lucky that you were able to connect with Nico Moretti, point guard for our beloved Illini.
That's right.
And so, Nico, thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
I can say he's been nothing but just class and respectful. And I reached out to him last year, when I had heard that the staff had interest in him. And never one time did he ever ignore me or just ghost me. He always responded. One heck of a young man. So thank you. Thanks again for joining, man.
Thank you. Guys.
Now, Nico, you're originally from Italy, correct?
Sir.
Well, what part of Italy? Where did you grow up in Italy?
I'm from Bologna. It's like north. But my dad he's a coach actually, and we usually like bounce back every city, go back and forth. So okay. I grew up in many cities, and I always follow him whatever he goes. So
right on. So I imagine that there's not many cities in Italy that are comparable to Champagne. That's had to be a little bit of a culture shock for you, huh? How you adjusting?
It's been pretty rough at the beginning because the season was going pretty fast and always coming mid-year is a little struggling for me.
Mm-hmm.
And but my adjustment was pretty quick. I think just be able to manage school and practice. It's been pretty difficult for me, but now I'm all in. I'm good here, and I'm really happy.
And as many people know, you have a brother that played at Texas Tech, correct?
Sir. Yep.
And played in the national championship game.
Yep.
David.
Yep.
David. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay. A very good player. I remember him very well. Obviously, I think Terrence Shannon Jr. knows him. He either played with him a year or he was there on campus while he was either hosted by your brother, something like that.
No, he played with him in my brother's junior year.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they didn't do the tournament because of COVID. So just a little bit of time.
Yeah. So what was like that having your dad coaching and then having your brother who obviously is very good? Did that kind of help, sharpen your skills? Was that it was just mandatory you were going to be a good player, or was that just your love for the game yourself because, you had so much of it in your blood, your family did it?
No, it was just I think these big two sources where, you can talk and you can compare ideas, and it's always big thing for me. Having a coach as my dad is, and a good player as my brother is, I think is a good part of me, and definitely a big part on what I have now, what player I am now. So,
yeah, couple questions there for you, Nico. So why Illinois? What about Illinois attracted you to come here? And then is your brother still playing now? Is he playing overseas somewhere? What's he doing?
Yeah, he's playing in Italy right now in the first division, and he's doing a solid season. His team is going good, so I'm really happy for him.
Nice.
And about the Illinois question, the first I got an offer this summer. I wasn't really likely to go on college the same year because I think I wasn't really ready to go, and I decided to commit to the Australian team in the NBA Academy, prepare myself and be more ready to the following year. But me here, this year, I think on my mind I was ready to go, and as soon as Coach Jeff Alexander called me and said it was a spot for a new point guard, I said, why not? And I thought it was a good chance for me.
Yeah, we talked, several months ago, and I asked you, kind of like what was about the program and like how Coach Underwood liked you. So your game, is based a lot. You play really good pick and roll basketball. I watched you at, I think it's U18 last year in Turkey. I was watching your games, and obviously played very well. What is it since then? Has the staff kind of has your focal point been more on just getting strength, but also playing pick and roll basketball? And is that kind of how you see yourself, in the future, just sticking to your game? Obviously, the staff liked what you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think the strength part is the most important for me. And as I said, I wasn't really mentally ready because of that, and I wanted to at least be more prepared. I'm not ready yet, but at least have four more months to prepare myself, and I think it was a good choice, and that's it.
So, I've watched some of your highlights and seen you play, and you seem like you're a very heady player, right? You're that point guard that is, in my opinion, you're a pass first guy, right? You want to distribute and get in and find guys, get them open looks. Now your brother was a little bit different. I mean, he was more of a scorer, correct? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
That now, did that come from playing together, or like is there somebody you modeled your game after, or how did that come about that your style of play?
I don't really know. I think my brother was the main player I was looking to,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I just feel when I was a little younger that scoring wasn't really for me in terms of getting that consistent shots, good shots, and that consistent like scoring ability. And I was just happy to make a pass and instead of shoot 20 shots, and that's a bring it for from the past now. And I'm happy to be honest. And I think not many players nowadays doing a pass first and a shot. So I think I'm happy.
I
You can
assume.
shoot. I mean, I've
Go
seen
ahead.
highlights. You can shoot the ball. I mean, it's not like that's
Yeah.
something that's
No,
not in
no, no.
your arsenal, right?
Yeah. No. It's just
I-
I think it's just a state of mind. It just make him natural, pass it first. And I don't know.
So heading into this off season, obviously strength, but is it something that you feel like heading into this future year that you could be ready if called upon, where you could, this is your really first year, but you having that whole half season's big, to acclimate yourself. And obviously with the departures of Sky Clark and now Jaden Epps, obviously ball handling, the team's going to be having to add, a guard in the portal, but here you are still. So are you just coming in ready to just do whatever and expecting possibly a chance to play later on than your first year?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think Jaden was a big part of this last year team, and now he left. I think the team and coach is gonna be ready to bring another guard or maybe two. So I gotta be ready. I gotta be sharp and be in the gym every time and trying to earn my minutes. That's literally what it is. So I'm not worried about guys coming in. I think it's just natural. But no, I mean, just coaches, you got to be find me ready. So I will be definitely.
Yeah, I've got every confidence, and when I hear you speak, knowing what your brother went through, knowing that your dad's a coach, and you just being around the game, is you've got a better understanding of where the coaches probably sit and what they're expecting and what you need to do to get on the floor. And to be frank, like I think that's what the team was missing a little bit this year was that facilitating point guard, because that's not something you can just all of a sudden take a guy who's wired to score and say, okay, now be a facilitator. And that's what we tried to do with Jaden Epps. And I look forward to you coming in and being that pass first facilitator. Did you play any other sports growing up that helped you like lead to that? I mean, us Americans, we automatically think, did you play soccer? I mean, because
No.
that's
I
the
play
vision,
a little
right?
bit of soccer.
Football.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, football.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. We always growing up with always kicking the ball, not grabbing it and then shoot it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm actually not bad at soccer, but yeah, we usually like in the summer I play a lot of soccer with my friends, and it's always a secondary sport. But other than that, I always played basketball my whole entire life. So
Well, stay healthy when you do that, okay? Like no
yeah,
injuries.
I got you. No.
Yeah. One of my last questions for you is, so obviously you're used to heavy, obviously European basketball. What have you noticed from the months you've been here watching Big Ten basketball compared to what you've been used to, an international European ball? What is a big key difference?
I think a common thing you asked me about difference. I'm gonna tell first the common thing. I think the physicality is pretty similar. I think Big 12 and Big 10 are two similar things about physicality, but two different things. I think just the size of the guards and the size of the big men are just pretty big, to be honest. The point guards like this year, Penn State had Jalen Pickett, that was really big guard. I'm talking about
what about Zach Edey from Purdue? Okay.
Oh yeah, that's another story. I mean, it's just unnatural stuff. I mean,
yeah, that's like you could. He's like a coat rack or something. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's another one. It's like anybody's ever stood next to Terrence Shannon, like people don't understand how freaking big Terrence is. Like that's a big dude. Like he's young.
Yeah. I was watching at Purdue. I was watching Coleman defending on Zach, and Coleman was like too small for him. I don't know. I was able to guard him at some point, but
now you got like it's pretty unique at Illinois. We got a lot of lefties. You're a lefty. Is that something pretty unique for you, like to have this many lefties on one team? Have you had that?
Not really. I was usually just me on the team every time, but this year was just everyone.
Yeah, I've always said there's something about a left-handed guy that I think that you play against so many right-handed ball players that there's guys in the NBA who really struggle to go right and still can play in the league. James Harden for years is still really dominant left. Kendrick Nunn, Illinois fans remember, very dominant left guy. You very rarely see a dominant right guy be able to make it in the NBA because players just automatically think to naturally sit on that right hand. So that is a built-in advantage. But that being said, like who have you connected with? Like who are your boys on the team? Like who
stole my question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. That's a good. We're like, who do you click with?
Yeah, who's your crew?
I got some. Probably my two roommates, Luke and Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paxton, Ty, Terrence too. I mean, everybody. I don't really talk to anyone. I try to talk to everybody. Start to build a relationship. So, yeah.
How did your relationship with Jeff Alexander form? That is one I was curious about.
During the summer, it was reach out to me a lot of times. But after the start of the season, we lost a little bit of our relationship, and after Sky left and he reached out to me, we always, every day actually, he was calling me about do this thing because we need to get you here. So yeah, being in that relationship with him is always important. I always can ask him everything about everything else. So yeah, it's been great actually.
Nice. Hey, I got one funny question for you. Can I ask you a funny question?
Yes.
Who's the last guy on the team you'd want to get in a fight with? Like who's the dude you'd be like, man, nah, like that dude.
If he took your lunch money, you'd let him have it.
I don't know. Probably Dane.
Okay. That's good to know for a big man.
Dane is strong, man.
Yeah.
And he's got those horns on his head. I would screw that. I don't want him to get. Yeah.
I obviously Ty Rogers would be up there on mine. Man.
Yeah, Ty.
Yeah, it's right after him. I put Dane in there and then Ty.
I know one thing though, Kev. If I know one thing, if I could choose one dude who I would want to fight with me, I'm picking Ty Rogers.
Yeah, on your side. Yeah.
Probably, yes. To beat Dane, I'll probably pick Ty. Yeah.
So.
Hey, low key, nobody's really probably going to pick in the fight with Luke. Let's be real here. You're a redheaded kid growing up and playing basketball. You got some natural toughness just built in there.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
He don't back down. That's what I love about Luke. He gets in the game. He gets in like little skirmishes, and he just walks away like nothing bothers him.
Yeah, and Luke is a little crazy too. So
yes.
I don't think I know anyone that said a bad thing about Luke. I think everybody just loves Luke.
Yeah, it's just funny. He's just around everybody all the time, always smiling and make jokes. So I think it's funny. It's just
I don't
funny.
know if it's an Italian thing, but over here in the States, redheads get made fun of. They call them gingers, but they say they have no soul. So you want
Nah,
to tease him. That's a fun one. That'd be fun. But you didn't hear that from me because I ain't one to gossip.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
So the last one, who's your team? Is it Bologna over there? Is that your team?
Yeah, there are actually two teams in my city, so it's like I don't know how to say.
Because I follow the world soccer stuff, like, you know, not just the English Premier League, but, you know, the Serie A. I follow all that. So Juventus was my team because we had Weston McKennie, you know, the American. So
my team too.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. I'm just saying I'm not just an Illini guy. I watch it all. So you have anything left for him, Kev?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to ask him a soccer question. I'm well, who's your NBA team? Like an NBA player you model your game after, maybe.
I like the Warriors as a team.
Yeah, sure.
And model. I've been watching Chris Paul, Giddy.
Yes. Giddy.
Yeah.
I'm an OKC, so I'm a Thunder guy, right? So that's cool.
Giddy is Australian, bit in the NBA Academy. Everybody talks about him, and I said, let's watch some video about him. Let's go learn some skill, and that's it.
Him in this 4-inch vertical, like he's not super athletic, but he just gets it done. It's impressive.
You know, I gotta be honest. I think you got some Ricky Rubio in you. You know, I think you're just kind of pass first, but efficient. You can hit the mid range. I think if you are anything like Ricky Rubio, which I feel like you got a lot of that in your game, I think you're gonna have a really successful career at Illinois. And my final thing I'm gonna say to you, Nico, is he told me, Kev, when there was a lot of transition happening earlier in the year, I said, I really hope the Illini fans, you know, get to see you stick, you know, just show what you can do. He said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying. This is where I want to be. So you got to love to hear that. So got to love it.
Sure.
Well, Nico, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys, man.
We were already in your fan club, but man, I'm pulling for you hard. Stay healthy and and stay with Fletch. We got you.
Yes, sir.
Fletch is gonna have you where you need to be, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen, you never know where life leads you. Maybe we need I thought we had pretty good Italian food. I heard rumors through the grapevine that you weren't really finding it in Champaign. So maybe you come back after your career's open and open up Moretti's in Champaign for us.
Why not? We'll see.
There we go.
We'll see.
All right. Have a good rest of your night, man. Thanks a lot.
You,
and again, continued success, and we'll be watching you.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, guys.
All right. Thanks, Nico.
Good.
See ya.
Dude, what a fun dude. I'm so glad we got him on. Dude, and see, here's the thing. How many people watching, all the thousands of people that are going to be watching this, how many interviews had they seen of him yet?
I haven't seen any of them yet.
You got to personally hear from him. You got to talk to him a little bit. Now you kind of know who's goofy on the team, who's he trusts to pick a fight with, who he doesn't want to fight with. Is there any good food in Champaign Italian-wise? No.
Yeah, I heard that already. I heard that was a complaint from Nico. And I love Manecci's in the day and Dom's and Italian Patio. I used to have my spots. But, hey, it's different when it's home, right? It's one of the things, like, I found the best, what I think is the best Indian spot in Oklahoma City, because I worked with an Indian guy and he was like, nah, this is better. It's better than my mom makes. And it's unbelievable. So, hey, listen, to each their own. And but it'd be really cool if he ended up, doing something like that down the road. But he seems like he's got that son of a coach attitude, right? That aspect about, like, listen, this is business.
A winner. He's a winner.
Yeah, this is business, man. I'm here to get an education and develop my skills, man. It's like, I think there's a lot of ancillary stuff that goes around, and also being the son of a coach, it's probably not like we can transition right into this. The influences in his life that would lead to some guys who jumped in the transfer portal, i.e. today, with RJ leaving. Rumor has it, what I've heard, what I believe to be true, is that the reason why is that RJ met with the staff met with RJ. There was a consensus between both parties that, hey, listen, RJ wanted to be back and the staff wanted him back. But RJ has outside influences in his life that said, hey, listen, we would like for you to go in the transfer portal. Now, that being said, let's look at some things with RJ. Came in very promising his freshman year. Had a Puerto Rican teammate, a guy I knew in Curvelo, was recruited by Antigua, and all that stuff's gone. And there is probably an opportunity for him to go back to the Southeast, maybe Florida. Who knows what happens with Miami. They may be looking for bigger fish. But it's one of those things. Like I've been one of the staunchest. I don't want to call it RJ apologist, but I was always in the RJ camp because I really believe what he could do. I'm sad he's leaving. I do think the kid has a lot of ability that we didn't get to see, but at the same time, there's a reason why he's moving on, and it's because probably on Illinois side they're not sitting there guaranteeing a starting spot in 30 minutes next year. And the reason why Illinois is able to do that is because, from what I'm understanding, we have some very good high-level prospects in the portal that are very interested in coming to Illinois. And for whatever frustration Illinois fans have with Underwood in the program and where it's at, Illinois has a very good brand right now in college basketball. I mean, we're understood. People know about us. We're thought highly of it, especially those higher level mid majors and even some major prospects. I mean, we got three kids from the Big 12 just recently. So Brad Underwood is working the portal and he's going to work it well. And I think the biggest flaw with this team last year was, just like I kind of touched on it with Nico, it's a little bit of roster construction. And Brad Underwood has shown the ability that he will make adjustments. And I think he's going to make the adjustments in the construction of this roster going forward, that you'll see some pieces there. Now, the one thing he's not going to be able to fit or fix next year is continuity, because we are going to have several new faces. I think we're going to have, you're going to have your core guys, Dane and Goody, Harris, Rogers, and then I do think I've got a gut feeling that Hawkins and Shannon will be back. That's a great core to deal with, and you just got to add some ancillary pieces, and you can have a really good basketball team going forward.
Yeah, so definitely you're going to be adding a couple more guards. Need a big. Going to have to add a big.
Yeah.
And I think and here's the funny thing. I talked to RJ's dad earlier today, and after the transfer, and here's the thing too. So for anybody, can say whatever you want about me. I've actually built relationships with many of these players, built relationships with their parents because I was talking to them when they were recruiting Illinois. So if I message Omar Melendez, he will answer me, and we chat. He told me that this was an RJ thing.
Okay.
And could he lie to me? Sure. I mean, he doesn't owe me anything, but I feel like we've always been pretty honest with each other about stuff. Last year he told me that he was coming back when he came back. So
there's been a little bit of wanderlust in every aspect of RJ in this whole process. Initially, freshman year, we were battling with the potential of him going to overtime.
Overtime elite, yeah.
There was the potential again with overtime elite last year or transfer, and so here it happens.
But I think it's, I even brought up, I said, well, you know what? I'm really happy that Brad always stuck by RJ no matter what. I said,
yeah.
I even told Omar, I said, even you know that the coach gave him every opportunity and always believed in your son. And he said, you are right about that. He said, and I will never forget that. So Brad did everything right by RJ Melendez. This was an RJ thing.
Yeah, but he yells a lot.
What'd you say?
He yells a lot, and that's why.
Yeah, he does yell a lot. Omar did not like that. No. Yeah, so that's for another day, I guess. But so couple guards, a big. We're going to go over some names of that. But I think Nico is a guy in the next couple of years I think is definitely going to be making an impact.
I do too.
Like 100. You tell me, even if he's the backup next year and, maybe plays 10 minutes a game, 5 minutes a game, you need a guy who can handle the ball, who understands when to deliver when to deliver lobs, when to hit cutters. And he understands all those intricacies, and we were so lacking ball handlers last year, man. It's like, I bet you he could have done a whole lot better than what we had a couple games. So
yeah, from a facilitation standpoint, he's got a real good handle. Like I said, he's got a decent stroke. Like he's not going to go out and shoot, 8 to 10 threes a game.
No, he's not going to shoot you out of a game and just take dumb shots.
Yeah, he can knock them down when he's open. But he really has he's got great court vision. I mean, I would be careful and cautious to saying this, but it's almost like how Andre Curbelo level court vision, but which Curbelo's court vision is incredible and insanely good. It's just the difference there is that Andre's probably a little bit bigger, a little bit more athletic, and then also probably a little bit more turnover prone. So there's definitely some pluses with Moretti here, but that's the thing that what this team is going to do is they're going to get a veteran point guard. They may get two. Depends on the skill set. They're going to get a shooter. They're going to get somebody from probably the mid-major level that knock down threes at a very high clip, and then they're in with a lot of bigs.
And it could be a mid-major conference player of the year. It could be. Yeah. Could be a guy that hasn't entered the portal yet. Could be. Yeah. So if you have any names out there that you've heard or you're seeing, I know you have some ins and outs of yourself of things. I've got a couple I'm going to throw out. Is there one maybe in particular that you would like to see that that the staff has already got interest in?
Well, there's two guys, Ray J.
Dennis?
Ray J. Dennis, from Toledo.
I don't know if is he in the portal yet? I thought he
is not.
But so he's a guy you'd like to see if he is in the portal.
Yeah, that's the MAC player of the year, average game, is a facilitator, can shoot. He's a really interesting player because he's not dynamic athletically, but he just makes a smart play, can finish with both hands around the rim, can really shoot the three. But the guy that I'm just absolutely salivating for, if possible, and I believe there's a Chester-Frazier connection, is Ace Baldwin from VCU. And he was the A-10 player of the year, the A-10 defensive player of the year, somewhere around, I forgot what it was, 12 to 15 points a game, but dude, it just steals and just athletic and a dog on defense. I think he can knock down the three. He had 37 in a game against, I think, Vanderbilt this year. He's just Ace Baldwin is the guy that I would really fall down for. And then there's Dalton Connect would be a huge one as well. That's a 6'6" wing guard. I mean, he kind of reminds you a little bit of Terrence Shannon, to be honest with you. Can shoot the three, can get the rim and poke on people. But I think he's a little bit of a mix between that guy from Nebraska and Terrence Shannon, that 6'7" like point guard they have there. He tore us up in that first game.
You're talking about Nebraska?
Yeah, that's why I'm Dalton Connect is a mix.
I'm trying to think. Griesel.
Sam Griesel, yeah.
Yeah, but Griesel is nowhere near the athlete. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. But there's a build. The build is similar, and he's got a lot of bounce, and Connect can really shoot. So I'm really eyeballing there.
I think definitely those two names. You can't go wrong with Ace Baldwin. That's going to be that is the top of your list, I think.
Yeah.
Prime premium if Illinois gets that. But they've got two or three other guys I think they feel really good about, a couple that haven't entered the portal. But one name that I can hit the portal that I know there is mutual interest is Chance McMillan from Grand Canyon. And there is a little bit of a connection there, but you don't think Jamal Walker loves those kids. And he has no ill will towards Illinois and Brad Underwood. So I think that knowing a kid's leaving a program and he's looking to go to a place where he can help contribute. I know Illinois, Chester Frazier has already reached out to him, but why I like him, I've been studying his tape, not just because he had 16 against Gonzaga, hit 4 threes, but he shoots 44% from deep.
Yeah.
He's not a turnover machine. He's a lead guard. He's got size. He's 6'3", shoots 75% from the line. You need a big guard in the Big Ten who 44% from deep, man, that ain't no joke.
No, it's not.
And that's legit. Go watch the man's highlights. He hit 4 against Gonzaga in Denver in the WAC championship game against Southern Utah, who had Tevian Jones, former Illini, on their team, who was outstanding that tournament. He was great. McMillan and actually beat Utah Valley as well. No, that was Tevian, but he shot, I believe, 50% from deep in the WAC tournament. He was very efficient and effective in the Sam Houston State was the semifinal game, who was the number 1 team in the WAC. I believe he put up 20, 25 points. Again, shot 50% from deep in that tournament.
Yeah.
So you have a guy that shoots better from deep than Dane Danger does from the free throw line. So, as much as we're laughing about it, it is funny, but it goes to show you that you feel pretty good if he's taking a shot from deep. So that's one for me to watch, and I feel like that could be a guy, and that's one for you guys to keep your eye on as well. If Ray J. Dennis hits the portal, I really like Illinois' opportunity there. So that was a good one. And then a big. There's a couple bigs that I know the staff likes. There's a 7-foot kid from Marshall.
Max Ablogden or something.
Yeah. 7'1" guy from Marshall.
Hand-Glotten.
Yeah, Hand-Glotten. 7'1", the Sun Belt freshman of the year.
Yep.
8 points, 10 boards a game, 3 block shots a game. He's a guy, I've had guys say Kalkbrenner kind of type, maybe Nungy-ish, but I think a little bit better athlete than that. But
and I think he'd be the kind of kid who would come and wouldn't mind being a backup role at a Big Ten school. So that's interesting. So I love the fact that he shoots 66% from the floor and he plays defense. He's going to be a guy that's going to come in, rebound, block a shot, and play some defense.
And then Butler just had a kid, the Seamus from who shoots quite a bit, Lacucius.
Yep.
So Seamus Lacucius, 6'8". I know there was some possible intrigue last year in the portal with him.
Yeah, our guy Gio was on that one.
Yeah. Gio swears. So if anybody runs across him on Twitter or any of the premium sites, I'm sure he's on them all. Hell of a dude, good guy. But Seamus Lacucius from Butler, 6'8", shoots a quality percentage from deep. I think 35 to 38%, something like that. That's a stretch guy that Illinois is needing shooting wise. They don't want all their bigs to be guys that have to shoot from within 5 to 10 feet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I got to be honest too, and I'm okay admitting this. My pride hurt a little bit, but it's all right. I'm not posting screenshots of it. So I did that little TV segment for Fox, Illinois, and Champaign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to you. You're in Oklahoma. You weren't going to be able to watch it. I believe I offended Coleman because he blocked me after he watched it. And I think he blocked me because I made mention of teams not really worrying about him shooting because he was 28% from deep. And Illinois needed actual shooters from their shooting from their bigs to draw guys out. We need real stretch fours. And Coleman has not shown consistency of that. While that may be hurtful, it is true. It is honest. He is not consistent. But I also mentioned that we need a lead guard, a point guard, so he can play the role he was meant to play.
Yeah.
And that's really what hurt the most.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up too. And he blocked me, and that's fine. That's fair, man. All is fair in this world and life.
His roommate now. It's all good.
Hopefully he doesn't tell Nico about me, and then we're all, no more interviews. But so that's what my little scoopy scoop right now on the portal of guys that I think could be real possibilities. And, as we speak, Kev, there's guys hitting the portal like right now. Like, go on Twitter earlier, LJ Cryer, boom.
Can we keep the Baylor connection open? I mean, you want a shooter, you want a guard shoot. That's the way that Illinois would look at taking 2-point guards because LJ Cryer is a really rich. He's a rich man's Jaden Epps. Is that LJ? He had a 120 offensive rating. I mean, he could just flat out score the ball, but he's not a facilitator. He's that 6'1" guard. He can flat out shoot. He's played a national championship game.
Won a national championship. Yeah.
I worry about his defense. There's the other guy, Justin Harmon from Utah Valley.
Yes. Very, very, very good. I'm glad you brought him up. I didn't want to just throw out 100 names without you, but I'm glad you did.
Chicago Curie kid actually went on Twitter and said, hey, I received an offer from Illinois as he entered the transfer portal and deleted it pretty quickly.
I was told the staff told him to take it down because they did not want to worry or scare off some other potential suitors.
Yep. So,
and that meaning, don't take it the wrong way, but meaning that he could be option C.
Yeah. There's also Yeah, and then there's like Will Baker from Nevada, who was a Myers high school teammate. That's a big who can shoot. Now you can't. I worry about the rebounding, the numbers.
Yeah, because I watched him play against Arizona State in that first 4 game, and I was just kind of like, ugh.
Well, then there's another transfer in the portal that people want to like look down their nose at because of he's kind of prickly. But I'm hearing there may be some legitimate interests that Hunter Dickinson is somewhat listening to what Illinois may have to offer.
Hunter Dickinson is smelling a little bit of what they're cooking, huh?
Obviously, Maryland's the lead there. You know, we talked
with the hire of the DeMatha Catholic coach, who was his head coach in high school.
But what do you do? Like JBR and we were talking on Twitter. You know, you guys had JBR was on our show a few weeks ago before the tournament started, breaking down what he saw for the brackets. Maryland guy who was sharing with Ryan and I today. What do you do with Reese, especially if Dante Scott comes back? You know, you can't really move Reese to the 4 or Dickinson to the 4. I mean, it just is. I don't know that there's.
I mean, if Hunter wants to come and you just tell Reese like, "Hey, dude,
go to Champaign, Reese."
Yeah, like we've got a all-conference big man here. He's been that way all 3 years. Have you been that at all yet? You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's just a guy better than you that comes in. Like who were, you know what I'm saying? Like how could you say that to somebody? Like, oh, hey, dude, yeah. We have a chance to get even better, so we're going to do that. I'm sorry if that steps on your toes. Back to Harmon, though. I like him.
Really athletic.
I like lefty too, right?
Yep.
Another lefty, but shoots. He was so good in the NIT. Go back and watch his highlight reel from the NIT. Put up 32 at the pit again, New Mexico. Knocked them out at home. Went to Colorado, who they've got some really good players that we like Tristan Da Silva and stuff.
Yeah.
If that dude goes to the portal, watch out. But went there and put up 20. It's like Harmon's legit, man. He'll be a 1-year guy because he played 2 years at junior college, and then he's played 2 years at Utah Valley, so it'll be his 5th year.
Yeah, I mean, he put up 83 points in 4 games in the NIT. And
yeah,
the worst game he had was 16 points. I mean,
I know I've had some people who I trust a lot and believe their knowledge of the game said they don't think he's a good fit, but they offered him for a reason earlier. So
yeah, he's gonna be a wing shooter, scorer, slasher. So
yeah. So I mean, I think that's a nice smorgasbord there, a plethora. That's one of my favorite words.
I like it, yeah.
A plethora of transfer portal names and guys to watch, and there is so many. There's hundreds and thousands now. It's
Max Abesmith is in the portal.
From my goodness, Max Abesmith, yeah, from Oral Roberts. There's just a lot going on. Tyler Perry, from North Texas, who I think is probably going to go to Texas Tech with his coach, but still the Conference USA Player of the Year, meaning he was better than every player on Florida Atlantic. So
there's the guy from Temple that we've been interested in, Damian Dunn, point guard. There's just listen. Illinois is doing work in the portal, and I would just listen. I am a Brad Underwood fan. I am a Brad Underwood apologist. People come at me for all you want. I think that Illinois is a top 20 program historically. I think in the last 4 years, once Brad Underwood has had his full roster in place, Illinois has been a top 20 program over the last 4 years in college basketball. I think Illinois will be a top 25 program next year. I think Illinois will be in the tournament next year. And yes, we have had some departures, but guys, there's 1,200 kids in the portal. That's 3.75 per team. And listen, you want to look at our team and say who's in the portal. You can put Sky in there. Okay, really, the losses this season were Epps and Melendez. Brandon Lieb's looking for a place to play. That's a portal with a guy who's going to go down a level.
Yeah, can you blame the dude though? It's not
no, he should have the right to go try and play some college basketball. And I don't know where he's at in his degree process, but also understand that he started at Illinois when his freshman year. He was 17. So I mean, he was young. He is young, and so I wish Brandon Lieb all the best. But you're going to have losses. It's the way of the world. It's the NIL. It's the handlers. It's the same people that are involved. They're like, well, Kofi left and went to Japan. yeah, guys, Kofi would have had NIL deals coming out the wazoo from Illinois, or if he wanted to transfer, but he was sick of college. There's all kinds of there's just lots of stuff that happens, and these kids all have the opportunity to take it, and they get wooed by the grass is greener on the other side. And sometimes it works for a guy like Brandon Podziemski, and he can go be the man at a lower conference. With Illinois' level of talent, he was never going to be he was never going to get the volume of shots that he did at Santa Clara, and good for him, he made the most of it. And maybe bad for Illinois for not seeing it, but the fact is, we won the portal last year. We will adjust the roster this year to be better constructed moving forward, and I have confidence that we will bring in some high-level guys that will fit with the program and will be set up to move forward with the future. Not to mention, I do believe a ton in the two guys we got coming in DGL and Amani Hansberry. So,
100%. I think Hansberry is going to be a surprise for many people. Again,
Bonzi Colson,
not super flashy, but man, he gets the job done, and he's effective as heck. So, yeah, and Bonzi, that's a good comparison.
He's probably more athletic and a little longer.
Yeah,
not as thick.
He's going to be a guy who not only block shots and rebounds, but he's going to be efficient around the rim next year as well. And he's already got, I think, deeper range than Dane Danger. So he can hit that 15-footer. You leave him open, 17 even. So, yeah, I'm excited about what the future of Illinois basketball is. And again, it's not like I'm just trying to throw out, orange and blue roses or whatever, but I know that if Illinois gets the group that they feel good about, I think everybody in the fandom, Illini Nation will be happy heading into the fall and the next basketball season. But it's always I can tell you this, though. The transfer portal has really made it exciting still for college basketball when the season's ending and when it's over, because here we are still talking about it. The championship game's on, but we'll be talking about it towards the end of April, and we'll be talking about it in early May.
Yep.
So
it's free agency for college sports. But here, just look at some things that have changed. What was the deficiency in last year's team? Last year's, and I'm talking about 21-22, not 22-23. 21-22, it's a good defensive team, but we weren't very long. We were a little short. We could shoot. We weren't very athletic, and we had a big juggernaut in the post. So then when you look at this year, like that season, we had one guy who was plus size for his position. That was Kofi. And then you go into this season, and we got length and athleticism all over the board. Like we corrected it, but we lost so much shooting. We lost so much veteran leadership, and we didn't have a point guard. So, I mean, there's just roster construction is not easy. And, yeah, maybe taking the gamble on Sky Clark wasn't ideal, but you move on. You live and learn, and you move on.
100%. I can't see – from my view here, I don't see all the comments from Twitter. I see some from YouTube. Brad made a good point. I mean, Hunter did want to play with Terrence Shannon. So
they are close.
So that's a very good point. I just can't see it. I think he's going to want to go closer to home and personally. But you know what? Hunter does do some wild, brash things. So him coming to Illinois would be I gotcha.
Well, and don't fall in the trap that I fell in where I saw the headline about what he supposedly said about Juwan Howard. That was a complete April Fool's joke. He did not actually say that about Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
So potentially return to Michigan.
I had heard, though, from, not necessarily Ant Wright, but I've got guys who follow the program really well there who followed me since, I used to do some Spotify rooms with those guys. But they said that Hunter kind of wore his welcome out in some avenues with people
I wouldn't doubt it.
So, anywho, so that's a lot to be excited about. Let's transition a little bit here. The final 10, 15 minutes, talk about some Illini football. I'm excited about the spring game coming up. I'll be there. Illinois had some big-time visitors, mainly a visitor that's going to possibly help for next year's team. D'Angelo Trill Carter. Trill. Looking like he had a great time on his visit over the weekend. So when I was told about it, oh my goodness, I was like in my head, I'm like Calvin Avery plug-in, literally just Calvin Avery, but I think a little more athletic and with a little better motor personally.
Yeah, more of a 3 technique. He probably fits more of what Newton and Randolph do than Avery, but I think you would find a spot and you'd figure it out with him.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
all Big Ten honorable mention last year.
Yeah, 6'2", 300 pounds. That's literally Avery's body type. That's kind of what I was saying. But
yeah,
that run stuffing dude who can block, take a couple guys with him. I like his relentless motor. Again, a dude who knows how to play the game and a quality level for sure. And even though Illinois had Minnesota's number, they've had success there with PJ Fleck. So he's been well coached. So he knows what it takes to be successful in the Big Ten. And think about this. You want to join the law firm, the biggest team. I mean, and I got to be honest. If you really think about Illinois' defensive line, as much as it's like hard to like say it out loud because, you see like Ohio State and Michigan playing in the the national semifinals, but it's really hard to sit here and just say with what Illinois got coming back that they're not in the top 2 of defensive lines. I mean,
I think Illinois might have the best returning front seven in the Big Ten. And
yeah, so it was just like I'm thinking, man, because Ohio State's got so much talent up there. But
yeah, they got the 44's back for them. He was a true sophomore. That guy's unbelievable. Had the unbelievable game against Penn State.
So it was just hard for me just to be like, oh yeah, Illinois got better line than Ohio State. But when you're like, let's see, All-America Newton, you're gonna have all Big Ten Randolph, who's probably gonna be a first teamer, and then you got Jacobs and you got Coleman coming back, and then Holmes is healthy. It's like it's
Brian, Jared Beatty, which we didn't even get to see last year, is one of the most high-profile recruits coming in the season. T-Rod Edwards was just really good.
And then if they could go ahead, and then you could fill in a dude like D'Angelo Carter in there. Yeah. Like that's scary, dude. Like
Bryce Barnes. I mean, yeah. We just got depth, and there's guys in there that can come spell it. Ced McConnell, Evan Kurtz. I think all those guys. I mean, we just have some. I'm just about what this team could do. I know I was a Debbie Downer going into the season last year. I'll say it right now. About 10 wins, dude. 10.
Oh shoot, yeah. I think the over under for Illinois. Forget what anybody thinks right now. Vegas has been wrong about Illinois. I think the last 2 years.
They'll still be 6.5 or 6.
Yeah, but it's like, come on, dude. It was easy money last year. Like the thing was, there was like all these group chats and people want to add me to them. I've been in a couple. They're like, oh, it's easy money, 3.5. I'm under or something like that, or 4.5. I was like. Yeah. Illinois, that's the easiest money you could put. Illinois is over 4. You know what I mean? Like over. So it's got to be 5. Like, so obviously smash that. I think 6.5 this year. That's easy money again. So Vegas better be smart and go up to at least 7.5.
I've seen bowl predictions, way too early bowl predictions that don't have Illinois in it, and I chimed in on it. And they're like, well, Chase Brown is going to be such a huge loss. And let's talk about that real quick. Reports that we're hearing is that Reggie Love is acclimating himself really well. Josh McCray is looking solid. But, dude, we got 2 guys behind them that are the Thunder, that are bringing the Thunder.
You can start. Jordan Anderson, go for it.
I'm a Jordan Anderson guy, and I really should be the other guy when you'll talk about him. But Jordan Anderson is performing really, really well. They are running some sets that are going to really drive some power. And if you've got 3 backs that are carrying a load of 240 pounds, and with a returning offensive line, especially the left side of our offensive line is as good as there is probably in the conference, is that we're going to try and run the ball down people's throats, and I'm here for it because we've got another guy. Tell me more about what you're hearing about Fagan.
About freshman Caden Fagan, who, by the way, was built like a grown man at 16 anyway.
Oh, he played high school football with my nephew. I watched him play when he was a sophomore. He looked like a man amongst boys.
I was like, I almost thought it was unfair. I was just kind of like watching, because it's like small country living football. And I'm like, this dude's like could have started at a safety in Illinois.
Putting Yoder's country buffet out of
Bacon. It's like put another helping of biscuits and gravy on there. But Caden Fagan apparently has been super impressive. Just smash mouth. Just not scared enough anything. here's an exact quote from a guy I just talked tonight. I just said, tell me about what's been going on, how he's been doing. Here's the quote. He's a horse. He literally breaks through people's faces, just runs right through them. You know, like he does not care. Yeah.
Too high, but
yeah, but still, like he's not got no fear and just plows through people, you know. And while I get, oh well, we got to run through the hole. If it's 3rd and inches or 3rd and 1, that's what you want.
And we struggled with that last year. We didn't have a healthy McCray. Chase Brown, for all his credit, is not a pile mover. It's not Reggie's game either. So I'm really excited to see how Barry Lunny can put these pieces into place.
And Lawfrey's the lightning, the fastest dude on the team. So
yeah, from Gibson City.
And then hearing what you hear from Aaron Henry about how fast this team is, like
just speed everywhere.
Speed. It's like not a typical Big Ten, defense. It's like speed, super speed. And we already knew Strain was quick now. Like the dude was a finalist in the state of Florida in track. I think it was either 100 meter,
200,
200. Like he was a finalist in that state. Like I knew he was a blur. So that's not surprising at all to me. Now, offensively, I've been hearing Leary's hanging in there with Luke. So I've been hearing Leary's been impressive as heck.
Yeah, hitting spots, really great arm. I hear there's a huge drop off. Like I shouldn't say huge. I'm not trying to throw stones here, but there's a drop off that goes from Altmaier, Leary to Paddock from an arm strength standpoint. But Paddock has been extremely accurate. He's probably the guy you're going to count on if you need a backup just from his experience standpoint. But I heard Altmaier's been pretty solid, so it's an interesting battle there. I think that side of the ball needs to do the same thing the side of the ball did last year, is not turn the ball over, be that game manager, and that's why I'm excited about those big hosses at running back.
And then the tight end, it sounds like Tip and Griffin Moore. And the new kid from Colorado State,
Arkin.
I think you got a nice trio there, and Griffin Moore's motivated. It's his final year. He's physically ready. Tip Ryman's a leader.
Boyer's going to probably get some tick too. So.
Yeah, we've got some really good young tight ends. So super excited about that.
Well, here's the thing that I would tell you from just. I tried to stay out of Aaron's inbox during this time of the year. I normally hit him. I'll hit him up during the season, just quick after game. Congratulations. But the thing I'm hearing is just, and I've said it before, competence. Like they're approaching this with a level of professionalism, and they just know what they're doing, and they just got a air about them. Like everybody's just. I think they're at a really good spot. I'm very bullish on what this team can be this year. God forbid there's a couple of injury places where if we suffer some injuries, we might be in a bad spot. If we can avoid those, I am very bullish on this team possibly 10 regular season ball games.
I think, a lot of the people are going to be picking, Cade McNamara in Iowa, or they might even go with Purdue and Card. But even some might be going with Minnesota. But I think this Illinois team knows they had their chance last year to win the Big Ten West. And I think this year they're going to capitalize on that. So this is their last year before USC and UCLA jump in. And then it's just going to be the two best teams in the conference.
Yeah.
Which obviously Brett Bielema is going to strive to be that. But that's going to be a lot tougher, when it's not just Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State you're trying to beat for that top two spots. It's going to be USC and UCLA as well. So then it's like 5 teams that have been perennial top 20, 25 teams, and you need to be in the top 2. Realistically, could Illinois sneak one in there in the next 5-10 years? Sure, I think so with what Bielema's. But this next year is primed and ready, I think, especially with the defense, to be that Big Ten West team in Indianapolis. So,
well, dude, the thing people aren't talking about is I think that Charlie Bullen is going to bring a lot to this team. He's got a lot to work with. He's got a ton to work with from that outside linebacker spot. And I think between him and Andy Boo and Aaron Henry, they're going to draw up some unique blitz packages that are going to create a ton of pressure on the quarterback when the time is right to cover up a little bit of an inexperienced secondary. Let's just say, call it what it is, because that's the one area you think that Illinois could be hurt. And I have every confidence that our front seven is going to wreak enough havoc that it won't be a problem.
All right. Well, we appreciate all the hundreds and hundreds of people who've jumped in for a little bit and watched tonight, and the thousands who've watched and retweeted and liked and who've commented. We appreciate you. That's why we love to do this, because people care, and you guys care as much as we do. That's why we do it. So, final thought, Kev. I'll start and you can finish. My final thought would be this: is that I'm an Underwood guy, but I didn't love how the season ended. I was upset, but again, not as upset as I had been in the past. I think just be patient, trust the coaching staff. They're going to get players. They know their needs, and I can promise you, they know their needs and they care about it a lot more than we do. As much as it's kind of hard to imagine that, Kev. Like, how could they care about this more than me? You know what I mean? Because I think about it every day. So how could they possibly care more than us? I think that the staff's going to do exactly what they need. Just trust them to do so. And just let's head into this offseason with some patience and some positivity of what the staff knows they need, and they're going to get done. So trust the staff, and I think everything's going to be okay.
The word of the day for my final thoughts is empathy. It's a value, a virtue, a skill that most humans really suffer that they don't have enough of. And I would encourage all of you that are listening, that are loving the orange and blue, when a player decides that playing for Illinois is no longer right for them, to try and put yourself in their shoes. I was 18 years old in basic training, and I cried myself to sleep the first night. If I could have gone home, you better damn well I believe I would have. I spent 5 years at Fort Drum, New York, which is in the middle of nowhere, upstate New York. It's colder than all get out. If I could have left without going to jail, you better damn well believe I would have. At any point in those 5 years, I'd have rushed back home to Urbana's and had a little porgy sandwich in my hand before you could say anything, right? I missed it. I missed it bad. But, I couldn't leave. That wasn't an option for me. It is an option for these guys. And not only is it an option, it's an option that comes with now contracts and money and playing time and things that aren't there. So I just urge we all know friends that went to college and then went transfer to another college, and nobody ever said anything to them. And what these guys do is, being a college athlete is 3 times harder than just being a college student. And so just have some empathy here. We've got 2 East Coast guys who are probably both heading back that way. Just understand that it's not always the coach's fault.
I can't believe people were giving Lieb crap about it, but
no, Brandon just wants a chance to play. So let him.
Yeah, and there were people giving him crap. I mean, I saw the tweets, and I'm sure some of them were trolls just trying to pass the time. But
not every one of them is Nigel Pack chasing a bag, and I ain't even blaming the kid. You got the time you have a limited time where you can earn money playing this basketball game. I mean, think about it, dude. D Brown is he 40 yet? And he is done playing college. He's done making money playing basketball. He's not even 40 yet. He's done. He's never gonna make. Darren Williams isn't 40 yet, and he's done making money playing basketball.
He made $115 million by the time he was 33. It's crazy.
But he's done. But so there's a shelf life of when you can make money playing the sport. Yeah. Now it's been extended because college players can directly make money. I know. Yeah. I think we all know that players are.
You can be 26 like Marcus Carr and still have eligibility. So it's I'm just kidding. He's done finally.
But his clone, his guy who will shoot you into games and out of games is still playing. And Caleb Love,
Love from deep
Missouri. He'll be at Missouri. He'll probably drop 38 on us.
Oh man, he'll never pass the ball either. No. He's like, I got this 1-on-5. So I actually hope he does come to Missouri. That'll probably help us out.
Empathy, guys. Empathy.
Empathy. I love it. From Urbana's finest. Love it. So I'm D-Town's favorite son. One of them. That's Urbana's finest. Have a great rest of your week. And just remember, the portal don't lie. Swami out.
Portal Combat, ILL.
INI. Oh yeah, thanks Niccolo Moretti.